I don't know if everybody here, I'll explain to you what the number business is. It's very much like the legal lottery today where you pick 3 numbers, and if the 3 numbers come out, you win $500. Well, the lottery we had was based on the track handle, like Belmont or Santa Anita. So every day the number was random that would come out. Guys would walk around, and I was one of them now, going to certain places where people would just give me the number, 221, 2 and 3, if they wanted it straight and boxed. It was a very lucrative thing back in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. Then when the state started with their lotteries, we weren't in demand anymore for that. So we moved into bookmaking. I became a bookmaker. But as you start getting involved in these things, it branches out into other things. If somebody doesn't pay, they got to get hurt back in the day. Or they go to the Shylock, who was Greg. And Greg was a Shylock's Shylock. He would give Shylocks money to put out in the street and collect that ridiculous rate each week. So if somebody couldn't pay me, I would send them to Greg. They'd borrow the money so they could pay, but now they'd be paying its interest for who knows how many years. So you start getting into the Shylock business, a little dirtier than sports. Then he asks me one day to give this guy a flat tire. So I say, hey, he's good enough to me. He wants me to give the guy a flat, I'll give him a flat. So I get my ice pick, well, he gave it to me. I get there at 6 o'clock. I was actually a little late, and in the morning, I give the guy a flat. The next day, the New York Post, man killed fixing flat. That's my first taste of whatever word you want to use, murder, killing. And my point is, you get brought along very slowly. After I knew that, I got to be honest, I thought I really didn't do anything wrong, so it's not the end of the world. A few months later, he says, you got to take me downtown. I got to see Scappy about something. Scappy is up at the top on the left, the furthest picture to the right, and he's got like a cigar in his mouth. That was my first captain, and it was Greg's captain. So I take him downtown. I find out later the guy got killed in that club that night. And he comes out, I drive him back home. Tells me the next day, the guy's name was Bucky, he's taken care of. We had to get rid of him. So now he's confiding in me in these things. A few months goes by, buy a shovel. Okay. Then you dig a hole. Then you sit next to him while he takes somebody out for whatever reason. Then he sits next to you while you're asked to do it. So it's a gradual thing, how you get groomed into this life. And none of that I'm proud of, and I'm not, I definitely, I don't want sympathy. I took responsibility. There came a time when I mentioned prison, where I got arrested. Now, I'm getting much, much closer to him. I'm privy to or actually involved in hits. The first one was personal, and that's another thing they do. They're not going to typically, like you read, ask you to kill a friend for your first piece of work. It's typically something personal, and his daughter, Greg's daughter, nearly got raped. So when she came home from school and told him the story, or told the mom who called us up at the club, we went to the car service that was supposed to be driving her to school, and we gave this guy a vicious beating. And I justified it in my mind, because if it had been my sister, I wouldn't have needed Greg or anybody. I would have felt I would have done the same thing if somebody I loved. So in my mind, I said it was okay what we did. But he wasn't happy. We kept calling this car service for the next 2 months. Eventually, the car service driver gets killed.